Good morning, everybody. This is Pauline Chung with the San Mateo Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm your Director of Communications and Marketing, and welcome to Business Essentials this morning. Today, we're honored to have Laura Biché here. The title for topic is Shakespeare and Reverse Mortgages. What exactly is the truth, or a rose by any other name? So Laura has been in the real estate financing industry for 26 plus years. She has seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, as well as that isn't exactly true, preferring to actually help clients, which was her reason for getting into real estate financing. She gravitated to reverse mortgage niche over 10 years ago and has been thoughtfully helping senior homeowners tap into their home wealth with safe, smart, and strategic options. So I'm going to turn it over to Laura. Please stay muted as she presents. Use the chat function to enter your questions, so we'll have a Q&A after Laura's talk. Thank you so much for joining us. There you go, Laura.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Firstly, I want to especially thank you, Pauline, for this opportunity to talk with everyone this morning. And thank the San Mateo Chamber for these business essential offerings. Excuse me. These are such a great opportunity to hone our messaging and speaking skills. Now, I hope this won't come as a huge disappointment to any of you, but I'm not really going to talk about reverse mortgages because as far as I'm aware, no such thing exists. In order to properly explore the phenomenon that has become known as the reverse mortgage, I believe it's essential that we give them a better name, one that reflects what they actually are. Retirement mortgages. You might question what's in a name, to which I would say, in this case, almost everything. Let me give you an example. If I were to ask each one of you to recite the most famous line from Romeo and Juliet, it is likely that you'd all give me the same answer. "Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo?" The words that Juliet calls out from her window are perhaps the most famous ever penned by William Shakespeare. But as with the myth of reverse mortgages, this doesn't actually provide us with the full story, because it isn't a complete quote. Juliet continues, "Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet. 'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague." What is a Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet as a rose. That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Juliet knew that the house of Capulet would never be swayed by young Romeo's charms because they couldn't see beyond the name Montague, the family name of their sworn enemy. A word with such negative connotations that left them blind to love, all due to a trivial quarrel that, as we all know, ended in the needless deaths of the protagonists, a plague upon both their houses. Which brings us back to the reverse mortgage. Since its inception, reverse mortgages have had to deal with the same problem as Romeo, an unfortunate name. A name that caused many people to become blind both to the reality and the benefits of what are actually available to them. Now, this is interesting. In most countries, reverse mortgages don't exist, or rather they do exist, but without the baggage. For instance, on British advertisements, they speak only of gaining the ability to unlock dormant equity in their home. Their message is very positive. The gold mine that many homeowners are sitting on, a gold mine that is just waiting to be tapped into. Perhaps that's why the program is often so much more successful overseas than it is here. But this was a concept that was born in the United States, and as far as I can see it, it's only right that Americans are able to see the full benefits and know the truth of these mortgages. To do that, let's roll back the clock. The very first reverse mortgage loan was written in 1961. The program began to gain acceptance in the 1970s, and a set of standards was soon adopted by the Federal Housing Authority, and the program was signed into law in 1988. For 25 years, the loan did exactly what it was intended to do, and that is to help countless homeowners, senior homeowners, enjoy a better quality of life by achieving security in and from their homes. At some point along this path, the good it was doing became clouded. Perhaps it came from the early teething issues and the lack of available configurations of the mortgage, which back then, I will admit, rendered it as something that was only suitable and beneficial to a select group of homeowners. However it happened, the apparatus, which I think should become to be known as retirement mortgages, became saddled with many misplaced concerns, misunderstandings, and at times, complete fabrications. An unfair and unhelpful mythology that today I hope to banish by addressing some of these myths and by exploring the often ignored benefits that come with reverse mortgages. So let's tackle each of these myths one by one, starting with the one that I hear most, and the one that, as far as the facts are concerned, has absolutely zero truth to it. The bank can take away my house. I don't exactly know where this came from, but perhaps because this is in fact true when it comes to forward mortgages. In the case of a forward mortgage, yes, you can lose your house if you can't keep up with the monthly payments. But if anything, this works to actually highlight one of the greatest benefits of reverse mortgages. The homeowner has no obligation to make monthly payments. Reverse mortgage loans remain in place until the borrower leaves the property permanently. As long as there is at least one borrower remaining in the home, regardless of whether payments are made or not, the home can never be taken back by the bank. I think this is one of the biggest concerns that hangs over people's heads, but it's frustrating that so many people believe a reverse mortgage will lead to home repossession, when actually, in reality, the purpose of a reverse mortgage is to do exactly the opposite. Now, keep in mind, of course, the borrower could be foreclosed on if they don't pay property taxes or homeowners insurance. But that's the same for every property owner, irrespective of their loan type, or even if they have no loan at all. Assuming property taxes and homeowners insurance are paid, the homeowner can live free from the panic of not having their roof over their head. And let's not forget, when the homeowner does eventually leave, the funds from the sale of the property can be used to pay off the remaining loan balance, or the home can be refinanced. Which brings me to another myth, also including debt. The home must be debt-free to qualify for a reverse mortgage. Now, this isn't so much a barefaced lie as it is a distortion or misinterpretation of the facts. One that, again, neglects to consider the very purpose of the reverse mortgage. In fact, one of the terms of a reverse mortgage is that the loan that is taken out has to pay off any existing forward mortgage products. And I really want us to focus on this situation as it provides an excellent example of the most clear-cut and beneficial effect of a reverse mortgage. In this sense, it's essentially an upgrade for the homeowner. The borrower pays off an existing forward mortgage, one that involves a requirement of monthly payments, by replacing it with a reverse mortgage that has no time scale on repayment. What the borrower is doing now is utilizing a reverse mortgage for what it really is, and that is a means of managing cash flow. Say you have $150,000 left on your forward mortgage with monthly payments of $2,000 a month. If you were to take out a reverse mortgage, not only would $150,000 of that loan be used to pay off your forward mortgage, but it also would eliminate the mandatory monthly payments. The homeowner would be $2,000 a month better off. That cash would no longer be flowing out of the borrower's pocket, but would be staying right where it is. And I think really this is how we need to start looking at these mortgages, as a means of managing cash flow. And I've had clients come to me with another concern. What if I end up owing more than my house is worth? A concern that is very logical, simply because of the lack of understanding around how a reverse mortgage actually works. As a borrower, and this is important to understand, you never owe more than the value of the property, ever, even if the loan balance is larger than the value of the home. This is known as a non-recourse loan. Even if the property sale doesn't cover the balance of the loan, the borrower or their estate does not have personal liability for the remainder of the loan. So we can certainly put this myth to bed. The next concern I often hear doesn't come from homeowners themselves, but from their children. Children are often worried that as a result of their parents taking out a reverse mortgage, they're having to watch their inheritance disappear. Now, in my opinion, children should consider themselves lucky if they get any kind of an inheritance from their parents. Inheritance should be thought of as a gift, not an obligation. Once parents have spent the first half of their working life to provide for their children, I think it's only right that the parents should get to spend retirement on that holiday home in Florida for themselves, or whatever they want to spend their retirement on. But in fact, a retirement mortgage and an inheritance are not mutually exclusive. The very nature of these loans means that the lenders are conservative. The loans are structured with the hope and the intent that equity will remain in the property when the loan becomes due, all dependent on the market, of course. And after paying off the loan, any remaining equity stays with the estate. And finally, as we run through the list of miss to bust, mortgages aren't the only money worry that retirees contend with today. As a result, I have plenty of clients who say they've always avoided a reverse mortgage simply because they're worried that it will impact their eligibility for Social Security and Medicare. I have a relatively simple answer to this, and this is, these are not entitlement programs. Retirees have paid into the Social Security and Medicare systems when they were working. So these programs are not normally impacted whether you have a forward or a reverse mortgage. You always want to check with your CPA, though, to make sure of this fact. The reality is that if one is lucky enough to own a home, they probably don't qualify for any of the federal assistance programs anyway, and those two programs are different than Medicare or Social Security. But this myth does highlight a very good point. With reverse mortgage loans, or any loan for that matter, we always employ a smart, safe, and strategic approach so there are no surprises for the borrower. So those are my answers to the unfounded myths that are thrown at reverse mortgages. But what about the benefits? which for me are life enhancing in so many ways. After all, what are the real benefits of any well-planned loan? Firstly, you want it to enable you to live life to the fullest. Secondly, you don't want it to create ever-increasing financial obligations. And last, but by no means least, you want to enjoy your greatest investment without worry. And yes, a reverse mortgage ticks all those boxes. You live in the home you love. There are no monthly payments required. There is no threat of having to move in your retirement years, and you can sleep at night, safe in the knowledge that the financial future is taken care of. The reverse mortgage can become your new best friend. In addition, we look at cash flow, and we also, something that I don't go into, but we look at the line of credit to help stabilize retirement, which is a huge, huge and very powerful benefit of reverse mortgages. Every client has a unique set of circumstances, and the greatest benefit of the reverse mortgages is that they really can be crafted to meet the needs of each individual client. They can work in the way that you need them to, and that's what I spend most of my time discussing with our clients. We explore their unique circumstances, see how we can craft the loan into a program that works for them to make them smart, safe, and strategic. Those aren't just the key benefits of a mortgage. They are key benefits of retirement, which is really, really why I prefer the name retirement mortgage for this product. Because so much of the negativity around this product is based on the name. We're Romeo, not a Montague, but a Smith or a Jones. He and Juliet probably would have seen out their natural lives together. And if the reverse mortgage was simply known as a retirement mortgage, retirees could see out the natural term of their retirement in the stress-free financial certainty for which the product was originally intended. And that is my little chat on reverse mortgages and what's in a name.